Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Lopez here. Thank you for stopping on by here at the On the Gun Line podcast YouTube channel. And today I'm going to give you guys a Vet Bro reaction. Today's Vet Bro reaction is brought to you by IE Fool. I don't remember the rest of his name, but this is for IE Fool. He's a YouTube user who, during a live chat yesterday, asked me, had I seen this video? And or had I heard about this? And I told him no, but I looked it up and it looked like something interesting that I wanted to react to. It's called "A Former PLA Soldier Hired by Russians Gives a Reality Check on the Russia-Ukraine War." I think this is going to be pretty interesting because, first of all, this guy, he's a mercenary. In other words, he went out there for the ducats. He's looking to get paid to be out there and fight on the Russian side. And this is free of the propaganda from either the Ukrainian side or the Russian side. This is going to be from somebody who went out there because he wanted to get paid. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, from the little bit of that I viewed of it, I'm gonna read some of it and break some of it down just simply because it's all in Chinese. Unless you guys want to go ahead and do the reading as well. I know sometimes it's difficult to, if you guys are just listening to it. So I'll do some of the reading and do some of the breakdown of what he's talking about. Let's see what he has to say. This comes from Lay's Real Talk. So shout out to Lay's Real Talk. That's LEI''S Real Talk. I went ahead and I'm borrowing this from her, I guess you could say. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get this started. But before we do me a quick solid. If you haven't done so yet, and this is your second time, third time, first time coming through here, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, y'all. It'll definitely help me with the growth of the channel because the algorithm will hit it, as well as if you could hit me with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Either way, I just need that engagement, as well as if you could just hit that notification bell. That way, if you put it to all, you'll know when I drop something new. And it's either going to be a Vet Bro reaction like this, or it's going to be a word on the streets, or it's going to be the On the Gun Line podcast itself, where I give you a point of view or an interview. Or it's going to be when I go live. Eventually, I'll start going live, when there's people that want to come and see me live. But anywho, without a doubt, we're going to get this bad boy started. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know what to do, everything we ask y'all. So let's go ahead and give you a Vet Bro reaction.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
So it's Li Jianwei. He's a Chinese mercenary hired by the Russians. And I forgot to share the screen. Let me go ahead and get that up here for y'all. Might wanted to do that, right? All right, there we go. So that's the homie right there, man. His name is Li Jianwei, and he's a Chinese mercenary hired by the Russians to go and fight the Ukrainians. LA for over 2 years, and is from Zhengzhou, Henan. So he served in the People's Liberation Army of China for 2 years. I guess he thought that made him like a war expert, I would think. You know what I'm saying? So he thought that he had an idea of what he was going to go to. He flew to Russia last December and has been telling his combat experiences on Chinese social media. So right here, it looks like he is sitting probably in some barracks or, in some kind of a makeshift, I would say, campground that he's at. And he says, "I'm mostly recovered. I haven't had a bowel movement in about 2 weeks. After returning, I ate a lot of butter and other things to help my digestive system. But I'm still suffered a hemorrhage. I used the toilet only once in the past 2 weeks since we left." God damn. All right, let's stop that right there. That's a lot that we're getting just in the first minute of this, 35 seconds of it. And he says, I have diarrhea and I'm not feeling well. Well, I'm guessing that's probably because you've been eating butter. Breaking down what he's saying, he looks like he's like in some kind of a medical compound. That's what it looks like. He said he's recovering well, so I'm assuming that he must have been injured, and that's probably where the hemorrhaging came from. So yeah, I'm gonna use those two and do that. What is it? Deductive reasoning. He used the toilet only once in the past 2 weeks, though. That's bad, bro. That's bad. That's yeesh. And you know he ain't eating Chinese food because you eat Chinese food now, and an hour later you're pooping. So somebody get that boy some Chinese food, some of his people's food. Do people in China have Chinese food spots, or is it just food spots? I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so he's gonna tell us a story.
到回来以后才上了一次厕所，
I have
这2
diarrhea
天老是
now
闹肚子，
and not feeling
肠胃还
well.
是不适。第一梯队12个人，2个战斗小组。
The first echelon had 12 people and 2 combat teams. So the first echelon had 12 people and 2 combat teams. I don't know how many people are in their combat teams. And I don't know, I guess his echelon is 12 people. Combat teams, I don't know. Are we talking squad elements or platoon elements? I'm not sure.
实际上可以划分4个
You
战
can
斗
say we
小
had
组，
4 combat teams.
但
Okay.
是打巷战都是
It's our
头一
first time
次，
fighting in
也
urban
是做
warfare
支
as a
援嘛，
veteran
老兵
support
新兵过去。
force. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So it's our first time fighting in urban warfare as a veteran support force. So, okay. One thing that I will tell you, being experienced in urban combat, you really can't train for that shit. I mean, no matter how much mount training you do, nothing prepares you for the real thing. Because I'll give you an example. They used to teach us how to kick down doors, right? We used to have like these makeshift houses where we go and kick down the door, and you learn about the fatal funnel and who goes left, who goes right, and clearing up all this area, clearing the rooms, going room by room clearing, right? What they fail to put inside these training environments is furniture. A lot of times there's furniture in there that you don't account for. So you have to be careful with that. Not only that your head has to constantly be on a fucking swivel. Constantly. Because any rooftop, unlike the Secret Service, I don't know how they don't know, but any rooftop is considered a fucking threat. And urban warfare is pretty much guerrilla warfare. All right. And it's horrible, man. It's fucking horrible. A lot of times you can't tell who's civilian and who is your enemy. Well, I'm going by my experience in Afghanistan and Iraq, because there were no uniforms for the enemy. So the enemy could pop at you, shoot at you, and then blend in with the rest of the populace. So fucking fun times. But yeah, so it seems like in his 2 years of military that he had, I guess they put him as a veteran support force. So being that I guess he comes with combat experience, they believe, or he comes with prior military service, he's gonna go there to support, I'm assuming, the initial fighting force, the team that's gonna go in first. So think about it like I'm trying to think of those video games people play out there right now. You'll have like a force that's gonna go in there and fucking start the shit up, stir up the hornet's nest, and then you're gonna have the fools that provide the support, whether it be mortar fire or it could be medics there or anything that's going to provide the infantry or the initial fighting force some kind of a support that they need, whether it's supplies like ammunition. Again, I think mostly it would be like partly mortars, because artillery they wouldn't be towing it. At least mortars they could carry that with them, or maybe like anti-tank weapons. So I'm assuming that that's what he's talking about, the veteran support force, but I'm not 100% sure.
我跟你说，
New recruits. Damn.
那边的阵亡率就是人进入战场到基本上你死8到10个小时。
From the time you enter the battlefield until you died, it took only on average 8 to 10 hours, y'all. Let that sink in. A bunch of fucking new recruits. This fool has 2 years military experience. They're fighting an urban environment. So your life expectancy right now over there in fighting on the Russian side, from the moment that you enter on the battlefield till you die, is an average of 8 to 10 hours. Let that sink in. Motherfuckers are getting murked out there. And this guy, from my understanding, what's going on is that there's a lot of social media influence from other Chinese mercenaries that have gone out there saying that there's great pay, that they it's a contract that you do and you get really good bonuses for killing for American people, for damn, well, it's not like I'm monetized anyway. So yeah, you get paid for like certain bonuses for doing specific tasks. So and in China these fools are trying to get paid, so that sucks. But I mean, 8 to 10 hours, bro. Head on a swivel. Head on a swivel.
就是这么快。
That is fast.
那边打了最少得有1个月。
We fought for at least a month.
因为很多房间内都有尸体。
Because many rooms had corpses.
我给大家发了那个视频，有些
And in
视
the
频
videos I released, the
在房
rooms
间
all had dead
都
bodies.
是有尸体的，都是尸臭味
The。smell was
基本上
terrible.
每个地下室都有人，
Almost every basement had people
都有死
dying
人，
from
都有
both
牺牲
sides.
了。双方
This man is going to suffer greatly from fucking PTSD if he doesn't already have it. He most likely doesn't have it just yet because he hasn't had a chance to reintegrate back to the civilian populace and let his brain try to rewire itself. But to see that amount of casualties or dying on both sides in a basement, and then the smell, I'll tell you what, the smell of when you just get hit, like I remember during one of our missions that we got hit, there's like a certain smell of I can't explain it, man, but like when the Humvee gets hit and like it's burnt, and there's a certain smell that you'll never forget. And there's also another smell, which is the smell of death, the smell of people just seeing them dead or dying. For some folks who've never seen stuff like that, it's not an easy thing. But you become numb to it. You have to learn to become numb to it. If you don't, you're gonna carry that motherfucking ghost on your back for the rest of your life. And one of the best ways to actually push through that is think of Full Metal Jacket, when Animal Mother and the rest of the platoon were over by the where they shot all those refugees and put them in that mass grave with the lime on it. And he's like, better you than me. Yeah. That's pretty much how it be. That's how you got to think. It's better you than me, man. Unfortunately, the hard part is when someone is actually, and I'm getting the fucking chills just thinking about this, y'all. Sorry about that. But it was listening to people taking and gasping their last breath. Even if it is a enemy, or it is your enemy. But at the end of the day, hey, fuck it, better him than me, man. Motherfucker should. Oh well. Anyway, moving on.
方都有。回来的是我，小黑，还有俄罗。
Only Little Black, a black man, a Russian, and I came back. So only 3 of them made it back out of his squad of 12, or his echelon of 12, and the 4 combat teams. Only 3 have made it back.
4人，还有一个是尼泊尔人。
A guy from Nepal who was hit by 4 pieces of shrapnel.
小黑大腿一个。
Little Black was hit by shrapnel in the leg and in the arm. The Russian was hit in the leg.
我是
I was hit by a bomb and thrown on top of the roof of a house. So 4 of them made it back. Holy shit, dog. I mean, think about it like this. Your whole fucking element just got wiped the fuck out by bombs. That fucks with your morale, yo. And then seeing all those bodies in the basement, that's going to fuck with your morale. You somehow have to push through that. And this dude, he's sucking. But he's giving you the realities of the war. A lot of people think out there, a lot of people think that it's going to be like Call of Duty. I'll tell you this, when you get hit, you don't respawn, homie. You do not respawn. You're lucky if you get hit in the fucking center mass area, because that means you got a body armor to protect you. But unfortunately, when I was out there, being shot at was the least of my worries, because my biggest threat that I had, my body armor would have been found in one piece, but my legs and my arms would have been found scattered all over the place. Those fucking IEDs, those roadside bombs, EFPs, they ain't no joke, man.
半边身子给
Half
砸住
my
了，
body
给
was
砸中了，
nailed.
你知道吧？上面穿着防弹
I
衣还
wore a
好，
bulletproof
胳
vest, so I
膊
was
然后左
okay.
边胳膊应该
A
是弹片
shrapnel
擦过去
scratched my
了。
left arm.
洗澡的时候他才发
I
现，
saw it later when I was taking a shower.
枪战很残
Street
酷，跟我
combat is
想象
very
中枪
brutal,
战不一
not
样，
what I
他妈
imagined.
的。第二个战斗手
Street fighting, but again, urban warfare. You remember again, Full Metal Jacket, when that last scene when they're going into the city away. Think of it like that. That's pretty much what it's like. I could tell you this: any veterans out there, any OIF, OEF veterans, if you guys were ever out the wire, what freaked you out more? When you're going down a fucking street and there's no traffic, or when you're going down the street and it's congested with people and traffic all over the place? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Because I can tell you which one gives me a pucker effect to this date.
小组战斗队啊投入了。
The second fighting team did what now? Hold on. Hold on. I didn't see what he said right there. He said the second fighting team went in and suffered a high fatality rate. So what happened to the first one? Did they all get annihilated then?
战斗队啊投入
Because
了，
there were 4 of them, he said, right?
也死了好多，
Many died.
也死了好多。之前
In the old camp, there were
在
2
老
Indians
营
from
有2
Ponder.
个旁遮普人，也是印度人，他们去
They went
做
there
支
as
援，
support
到
forces to
现
the
在
other
留的
troops and
是
haven't
其他的部
returned.
队，一直没有回来。他们给我发
They
信息
sent me
了，他们
messages
人
and
还
are
在。
still alive. Okay, that's cool then.
卢卡如果治疗了好
Luca
的
receives
话，
good medical care. He can
腿
save his leg.
不用截肢。
If he receives good medical care, he'll live. If not, he has to undergo leg amputation. God damn, the realities of war, y'all.
治疗了不好，腿得截肢。
In my understanding, from what I was watching, because I was watching another video regarding this, but from a different perspective, and apparently from what I was hearing, they don't have any medics on the front line, y'all. They don't have any elements to assist them. So basically, if you get wounded, you better hope it's just like a bullet graze or something of that sort, because if it's anything major, they're just gonna leave you to die there. So yeah, it's pretty fucking wild. But that's what happens when you get a bunch of conscripts, you know, at least in the Russian side. For those that don't know, those that are conscripts are basically the ones that were drafted, basically the ones that were forced to go to this war. And they don't want to be there. You know, they don't have any food. They don't have barely any supplies, and no medical attention. They have to go back to the rear in order to get any assistance.
小黑，
I haven't
我
talked to Little Black
从
since
马尾
I'm
调到这儿，
relocated
我都
here.
没给他说一句话，
So Little Black
是因
is his homie.
为有一天晚上执行任务，有2个老毛子，还有我小黑。
That's because he and I and 2 Russians formed a 4-person combat team and conducted a reconnaissance of a building. Okay, so him, Little Black, and 2 other Russians, they went out on recon to go check out a building. Got it. I guess he said he hasn't talked to him since this mission.
我们组成了一个4人战斗小组，向一个房子那边侦查，然后如果有敌人的话就打。
If we ran into the enemy,
在
we
半
would
路的
fight.
话，然后遇到
On our way, we ran
无
into
人机，
drones. Fucking drones.
侦察无人机带来了是炮弹。
They were recon drones with bombs. They're
那个
called
是
Biseka.
叫 Bichika，
Bichika.
然后是他这边称之为那个攻击无人机啊，就是投弹无人机也
Attack
好，
drones,
自杀
bombing
无人机
drones,
也
or
好，
whatever.
它叫为就是说是嘎米嘎
Gamgasi.
兹，俄语发音。它是有2种那种
2 modes
攻
of
击方式。
attack.
我们被无人机炸，还被对方炮击，然后近距离我挨了一炮。
So they ran into some drones on their way to do this recon mission. What ended up happening, the drones were strapped up with fucking bombs. I know you guys have seen them on YouTube and on X and all that stuff, where they started placing like grenades and other dumb bombs, I guess you could call them, that they just dropped from the drone onto their enemy. So one of them apparently hit him, and it seems like he must have been wearing his rucksack, and the rucksack took the explosion. The munitions used here are weak. So there he goes. He's telling you that they're using weak ass munitions. Munitions being, whether they're your bullets, your mortars, your artillery, whatever they're using as far as to take down the enemy.
他这边的用的炮弹威力小，有迫击炮弹是威力小，
Their
有一
mortars
种
are
啊是
powered
波兰
low.
的，
A
它
Portage
跟那
mortar.
个这边的那个迫击炮弹发的声音是不一样的。
So he's talking about a
以前
Polish
的
mortar
其他的
system.
国家的一些迫击炮弹，它发声音的时候，弹体啊放到那个迫击炮筒里面，嘣爆炸，然后啾，爆炸是一个声音，啾是第二个声音，然后落地嘣爆炸是第三个声音。
All right, so he's right there explaining for those that aren't able to read along or is going kind of fast. What he's explaining right here, he's talking about the mortar systems that he's primarily used to. You'll normally have 3 sounds that you hear from it. The first is going to be the initial explosion, which is going to be what projects the projectile out of the tube and lobs it towards its target. The second is going to be the whistle that you'll hear when it's in the air, when it's flying over you. All right, like they show in the movies, but it's not really like that, but it's kind of like that. And then the third is going to be when it explodes after it lands next to you. So a lot of y'all see the movies where it goes. Okay, that in my experience, I've never seen that. The only time I've heard it whistle is when it's flown over. But when it's about to hit you, it's more like a and yeah. Then you just hear a boom and your ears are ringing.
但是波兰那个迫击炮啊
The Polish mortars
它
have
发射
no
是没有
sound
声
when
音
they
在空中飞行的时候啊，它
they
也是
give
没
no
有声
sound
音
in
的，
the
你必须
air.
仔细去听，因为这边是平原，风特别大。你仔细听的话，顺着风听，你会听到就这种声音，所以说非常非常危险。那天晚上
So I guess the Polak ones, they're very quiet. You can't hear them when they're coming, and they scare the fuck out of these guys.
打那一仗，小黑他也是胆小，他以
So
前
Little
没有
Black
当
was
过兵。
scared. He had
之
never been in the
前在
military
装甲部队
before.
的时候，他也是打酱油，去少数人其他地方做支援，他也没有主动。
All right, so Little Black sounds like he was somebody who wanted the experience, but when shit got real, he realized that he didn't want to be in that shit no more, but it's too late now. He said he didn't sign up to fight in the battle in the woods. Apparently, from what he said earlier, Little Black wasn't in the military, but he used to ride around with an armored unit. For those that don't know, an armored unit is going to be more of your tanks, your Bradleys, your APCs, anything that is mechanized.
报名去，所以说
I understand why he was scared of urban combat.
他跑了，
He ran
俄罗
away.
斯人也跑了，
The 2 Russians also ran away. I don't blame them.
这没啥可怪的。
Damn.
所以说是在战场上啊，不要相信任何人。
Holy shit. That fool just said that's why on the battlefield you can't trust anyone, not even your teammates. Wrong. Maybe in your little experience over there that you're having, but here in the US, we are taught. It's part of our warrior ethos in the Army. I will never leave a fallen comrade, homie, ever. So I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. So yeah. But then again, these are conscripts, and then you had or mercenaries as well. And urban fighting is no joke, man. It's for all my fellas out there that grew up on the streets. Y'all remember what it was like when what they call the ops now would roll by and bust at you and then take off? It's kind of like that, but constant, just a constant. Instead of just a quick, 30 seconds that they stopped by and blasted at it and ran and took off in their buckets. Just think of it more of a sustained firefight. And especially if you're like fucking pinned down, just imagine you're stuck somewhere. You got to conserve your ammo because once you're out, you're out. You know what I mean?
包括你的队友。
He said
我
including your
说是在
teammates.
国外啊，
I
在
meant
国内
outside
那
China.
不
In
存
China,
在
we don't have
因为
this problem.
咱中国的那
That
个军人
motherfucker
呢，
tiptoeing.
那真是生死兄弟。如果真
Our
发生
Chinese
战争，他
servicemen
们肯
fight
定会
to
救
the
你的，
death. If war
甚至
breaks
愿意
out,
付出自己的生命来
they
救
are
你。
willing to
但
sacrifice
是在
their
国外，你
lives.
只能靠自己。
But outside of
你
China,
靠别
you
人，
can
他
defend
妈的靠不
yourself.
住。我跟你
No
说，
one's
兄弟们。
dependable. That fool's tiptoeing back. He's walking that shit
还
back.
好那天晚上我活着回来了。
I was lucky enough
我
to
找
come
了
back
一个
alive.
废
I
弃的
found an
还没有
abandoned
敌人的，
place, not discovered by the enemy.
后来慢慢又汇合在一起。小黑一直想道
Little
歉，
Black
我一
wanted
直
to
没理他那么
apologize to
多。
me.
这次
It's
我调
okay.
到这
I
个马
came
尾这
here
个地方，
while he was sent
当
somewhere
时
else.
他应该是去干别的事情了。
All right. Ain't that some shit? Little Black and the two Russians take off on this fool after he gets hit by a motherfucking bomb drone. All right. Little Black and the two Russians take off. He has no idea where he's at. So remember, he went on a recon team. Then he goes and finds a place to stay, chill out, hang out. And then he ran into the other three, Little Black and the two Russians. Man, if I wouldn't have been fucking stomping his goddamn face for leaving me out there like that. But he said it's okay. I came here while he okay. He said it was okay. He forgave him. My brother in Christ, you are a better man than me. Because he said later reunited with the guys. That is fucking crazy to me.
到这个马尾这个地方，当时他应该是去干别的事情了。
It's okay. I came here. He went
马尾
somewhere
说
else.
需不需要跟他们道别？我说不需要。有什么好道别的？古巴在装病， 他一直说他有心脏病。小树林。
So apparently there's a Cuban up there as well, and he's faking a heart condition so that he didn't have to fucking fight. We call that malingering. All right, that's called malingering, and that's a big no-no.
战斗也没去，没做支援，巷战
Didn't fight in the street combat.
之前这装甲部队，然后
He
就
was
是
in the
在
armor
2线、
unit.
3
Wasn't
线，
on the
2线
front
都没有，
line.
3线
He wasn't even in the
做支
second
援
line.
打酱
Or
油。
was in the third line doing nothing much. That right there is the frustration of a motherfucker that has been put in the front, out there kicking ass, pounding the ground, and getting little to no recognition, while you got other motherfuckers in the rear echelon. We call them REMFs, rear echelon motherfuckers. They're doing nothing but try to get all the glory and the credit.
就是
He seems
其他的我也
frustrated.
不知道说啥。
I don't know what else to tell you.
对，从出
Oh
发
yes,
前，
before we
小黑
left,
做
Little
了一
Black
次
cooked
饭
a，meal, beef stew. Hell yeah,
炖
you
牛
got some
肉吃了
food.
列巴。到那儿，然后得到了一次
Okay,
补
they
给
got，resupplied.
有时候是
Ate.
得到一次补给，吃了一顿饭，后来吃了3次罐头。
He ate canned food
再
3
剩下的就没
times.
吃过，没吃过其他东西了。
After that, he didn't eat
3次
anything.
罐头，有一次我记得清楚，是吃的是2罐，一罐牛肉罐头，一罐鸡肉罐头。
He remembers once he got to eat one
但
can
是
of
黄油，我逮着机会我都吃，最少吃4块。
4 pieces of butter.
我没想到这次打这么长时间，真的。
I didn't
以
expect
前
to be
他
on the
妈
battlefield
的
for
给
so
我打他
long.
妈1天1夜。
In the past, the longest
这
was
小树林
24
也
hours.
是，白天休息，
We
你
used to
想干
rest
嘛
during
干
the
嘛，
day and fight at
然
night.
后晚上推进，晚上打。在这儿是不分白天，不
Here
分
we
黑夜
fight day
就
and
他妈
night,
干。
nonstop. That's war. That is war. The opponent has fucking or a shit ton amounts of drones. He said expletive, so I'm gonna add my own expletive. A fuckload amounts of drones. I don't know if that sounds right, but yeah, dude. So he was used to fighting in the day, sleeping at night, and he said over here they're fighting day and night, especially against those drones. And those drones more than likely have PIR. For those that don't know, that's passive infrared, or they probably have that fucking night vision. But anyways.
而且他妈的对方的无人机是真他妈的多，我估计你们没有见过那个对方无人机炸坦克。
I know you haven't seen how the drone bomb tanks. We have signal interference here. Okay.
他妈的大老远都听见，妈的，我天上无人机比他妈鸟都多，我跟你说真的。那他妈无人机我飞过来以后，前面都是1到2架，然后排头。你这边如果有干扰的话，你就干扰前面那2架。
That's fucked up. So apparently, it sounds like he's doing is like, remember how he was saying that he was a support for the main elements. So it sounds like he does some kind of counter electronic warfare per se, because he says he shoots signal interference to the drones. He says they come in packs, like fucking flocks of birds. So just imagine a flock of fucking drones. All right. I don't know if you ever seen like a flocks of fucking of crows or ravens flying. They call them murders too, right? A murder of ravens or crows or something like that. Anyways, so just imagine that, but drones. And those drones are armed and they're about to drop bombs on you. So he says you could hear the buzzing coming from miles away. He turns on his counter signal for interference to interfere the first 2 drones. But after that, the rest of them are, just open season on their ass.
那后面的无人机，然后空空空空空空，他妈的炸你周围
Damn, they drop bombs on you all around your surroundings. You can't even lift your
而且
head.
人
No
那
one
边情报
dares.
做的很好。这
So
边
they do a
刚他妈
great
有
job gathering
一台那种
intelligence.
就是说是那种坦克，然后进入战场，
When one of the
人家
tanks
那边
gets
都发现，
there, they know.
然后就是说炸你所有人不敢露头，然后后面有几架那种无人机，带
A
了
few
那种
drones
就是
come
说
with
第一次炸
C4
药
and anti-tank
或者是带了
explosives.
那种就是说是打坦克那种就是火箭炮那种弹头，就对着你那个坦克，嘣一发。
2 to 3 rockets on the
嘣一
tank.
发，我操，
It
最少
makes it
2、3
into
发，
Apollo rubble pretty
打
much.
他妈的就是给你打成零件儿。
Fuck.
你人往外跑，你跑个锤子，
You
他
have
妈
no
炮塔
no
他妈
time
的
to
奔
run
几十米
anywhere.
外了。所以他妈的这
Some bullshit,
他妈
Lotto.
像这样跟我
This
想
street
象的
combat
不
is
一样。
completely different
我
from
想
what I
象
had
那个现在
imagined.
就好像我看电影一样，我
I
心
thought
想
I
没事
could
儿，
throw a
老
grenade and
远
kick
啪
the
啪啪
door open.
打完以
Exactly.
后，
See? Exactly. Like what I saw in the movies. Again, when we trained, when we were training out in Fort Hood and even out in Fort Hood. Fuck, where was I at? I was in Fort Hood. I was in Fort Hood, Korea, Fort Stewart, and Fort Carson. So I deployed out of Fort Hood, out of Fort Stewart, and Fort Carson. But in Korea, since I had a combat patch, they knew I had deployed. During one of our field exercises, they asked me to show them how to do reflexive fire, and the training that I had been provided before I deployed to Iraq the first time. And now this was me as an E4 specialist. Like it was something to be said because I had a combat patch and there were non-commissioned officers there that didn't. They used to stay there on what we call the AIP, which technically it stands for the Army Incentive Program, where you could stay up to 3 years in Korea. We called it the Avoid Iraq Program because you got to stay in Korea for up to 3 years and not have to go to Iraq. And a lot of motherfuckers did that in order to avoid going to Iraq. Y'all are a bunch of pussies, just so y'all know that. We know who y'all were. Anywho, I'm not even going to get there. But yeah, so, they train you a certain way. And mainly is to build that muscle memory, to build that second nature to when you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? And also to build up confidence in you, to have confidence in what you're doing. But one thing that we learned really quick, or at least I'll talk about myself. One thing I learned really quick was everything that I was taught prior to deploying to Iraq, I needed to forget once I got to Kuwait, because we did all this training in fucking in the States, only to get to Iraq. Well, I'm sorry, only to get to Kuwait and then get trained up in Kuwait another way, telling us like, oh, no, forget everything you did learn there. You'll remember the basics, but no, this is how you're really going to do it. And then we trained up for like a week or two, and then we went into Baghdad. Then when we got into Baghdad and we're replacing Third ID over there, shout out 176 FA out of Third ID, Fort Stewart, Georgia, 2006. We replaced y'all in December 2005. Anywho, so we get there to replace them, and everything we learned in the States and in Kuwait had to go out the window because we had to learn how to do things the way they were doing it there for the past year. So, and being in Baghdad, I tell you, you know what? We'll save some of those stories for a different day.
近距离，人可手雷，一踹门而入，没事看电影代入
It's
感
not
嘛
like we saw in the
把
movies.
以前看的电影那些动作没事
It's like
做一
reliving a
遍，
movie
哎，感觉
experience,
挺好
right?
重在体验
No,
嘛
it's not the same thing.
这
here.
边不一样，我操他娘的，真的是
Expletives, god damn it.
那边也狠，
The
这边也
opponent
狠。
is ruthless. We are ruthless too. You have to be. It's war.
难听点的
I'm going to be brutally honest. No one will show mercy.
就是子弹，
you
最
shouldn't.
普通的子弹都换成穿甲
The
弹，
most ordinary bullets.
就是怕打不死你，就
Hold on,
怕
I
打不
missed
死
what he
你。
said.
就是子弹最普，
The most ordinary bullets are replaced with armor-piercing bullets. You don't have time to be merciful. You don't have time to think, oh, poor guy. You don't. You have time to react. If you think, you're dead. Plain and simple. You react. You see it as a threat, you take it out. That's it.
普通的子弹都换成穿甲弹，就是怕打不死你。
They want bullets to be
就怕打不死
deadly,
你
deadly, deadly.
就
Hell
怕
yeah. Fight, fight, fight. Shout out Donald Trump.
打不死你，听懂没有？
You get it? Yeah, I get it.
唉，再后来
After the
打的就
veterans are
是
finished,
老部队人打完了，从其他
they
部队
pull
出
some
调到
veterans
邻国了，
from other troops to
然后
support
跟你
us.
打配合，语言沟通
We can't communicate due
不熟悉。
to language barriers and
打配合
can't
打配合。
collaborate.
那他妈死人说句实话，
Dying
那很快
combat
的。
is
前2-3
instantaneous.
分钟还在那抽
One
烟
can be
干嘛来？
smoking
突
for
然
a
之间
few
接到
minutes
通知了，然后向另外一
for
个据
getting
点
an order to
一个
attack
房子，
another
然后
base.
进攻。
Yep.
那说死就死了。
One can die
对方的
instantaneously.
无人机也多，对方
They have
只要
many
发现
drones.
侦察无人机，他带来的是炮弹；
If you see the
发现
recons,
自杀式无人
they're
机，
bringing bombs. If you see
它就是
suicidal
炸
drones, they're there to bomb you.
我比较幸运，没有遇到
I'd
那种
rather
自杀式无人
lucky.
机。
I'm rather lucky and never met suicidal drones.
在房间里面遇到过，但是
I
炸
saw
墙，
one inside a
大家也知道
building.
这边墙体
The
非常
walls
厚
were。very thick.
在医院的时候，
I
我
showed
给
you
大
the
家拍过
walls when I
墙体
filmed
厚
the
的。
hospital. Oh, I didn't see the
他
hospital.
妈的！我跟你说啊，2层楼，
It used to be a 2-story building. It was
就在里
bumped
面
to one
就
story.
不敢离开地方。然后
We
他妈
were
打成
afraid
一
to
层
leave our
楼，
post.
妈1层楼打成半
The one story was bombed to only have half a story left.
层楼，然后他妈趴到那个
We
水泥
hit
板
the
底下，
cement slabs.
然后他妈对方的无人机
The
在你
drones
头
flew
顶
over
飞，
our
然后
head
空
and
空
bombed us
空
like
空
crazy.
炸，我操他妈的，大型无人机，
They were
带那
large
种他妈的
drones
迫
with
击炮弹，
mortars.
然后白天
During the
那
day,
种他妈小的自
were
杀人无
smaller
人机
suicidal drones.
啊，他这边房子
Damn.
跟房子的距离都很远，
They're far
然
apart from each
后
other. The
最
buildings are the same.
后我们撤回来的时候，
From the troops. After we
跟其他
evacuated in
的
the end and
部队的老
regrouped the other
兵，然
veterans
后
from the other
打
troops,
了2个据
we
点，
attacked 2 strongholds with
那两个据点，
windbreaks
旁边是个防空林。
next to them.
打那个据点，我跟你说是
We lost
死
dozens
了
of
得有
people
几十个人
and didn't
没
take
打下
them.
来，
Damn.
就是前后得有我待这10几天
I've
了，
been here
就是
for
我
about
知道
2
了，包括我
weeks,
看到了，包
and
括我
based on
对我们
everything
进
I
攻的
saw and knew,
就那块
we
地方，我
launched
都
offensive
攻了
3 times but
3
didn't
次，我
succeed.
他妈的说句实话，最近的一次距离就是
We
攻了
advanced
就是
100 meters.
100米，对方呢，我跟你说是有那个铁丝网，挖了有
Want you to listen to that. If you guys are still here, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all the real ones. He said that in those 2 weeks, they've only advanced 100 meters. And this is how it's been. Shit, it's been a stalemate for them for a hot minute. However, Putin is going to keep just throwing more bodies at it. He does not care. It's not affecting him one single bit. So he's going to keep throwing bodies and bodies and bodies at him. And it's very unfortunate because it's these people right here, these mercenaries that are going out there that are paying that price, you know? And I get it. He knew what he signed up for. But, I mean, damn. The opponent has barbed wire and dug trenches there.
布了有那个坦
There
克
are
地
also
雷，还有其他
anti-tank
地雷。
mines
你
and
那会
other
儿不太
mines.
想那什么那个防步兵地雷了，因为
At
对
that
面有他
moment,
妈
you
的
don't
机
think about
枪
the、
妈
mines,
重机枪，还有
machine
他妈
guns,
的
heavy
就是枪榴
machine
弹，
guns, rifle grenades,
还有后面的
drones,
人家的就
all
是说
came
天上
after
的妈
you.
的无人机，然后空轰炸你。
So just imagine that. There's also anti-tank mines out there where they're at. And not only are they having to worry about the anti-tank mines, they don't have time to think about that because they're reacting to drones that are flying overhead that could be dropping bombs on them. The machine guns that they're getting blasted at, like let's say a 249 or a heavy machine gun like a 240 Bravo. One fires a 5.56 round, the other fires a 7.62 round. Rifle grenades, drones, they're all coming after you at one fucking time. So I don't know how many of y'all remember the game Contra from back in the day, but unfortunately over here you can't do the up, down, left, right, BA start code. All right, because you only get one life, not 30. Damn.
然后迫击炮空空炸你，我操他妈的！还有火箭筒，哎，
Mortars
你
and
没法
rockets
躲啊！我
bombing
跟你
you,
说，
nowhere to
周围
hide.
那路上最粗的树啊，就还没我
The
还
thickest
还
trees
没
in
我
the
手
rows
腕
were
粗。
thinner than my wrist.
所以说他妈的，不好
It's
打。
really hard to
我都
take
怀
the
疑那一
bases.
块
I
啊，
bet.
我都怀疑那一块
I suspect the
对
place is a
方是搞了
trap
一个陷
by
阱。
the other side.
这边就是说
In
我们打下这
addition,
个
after we
房子，
occupy this
然后
building,
就
the
是说
opponent
是
uses walkie-talkies.
如果对方的对讲机没有打坏的情况下，这边老毛子就拿着
Our
对方
Russian
对讲机
teammates
然
would
后
listen
听。
to their
但是
conversations
啊，
on
人家那
walkie-talkies,
边
but
就
they
是
could
立
change
马
the
就
channel
就换
immediately
频道了。我们
because they speak the same language, the Ukrainians and the Russians. So they could listen in. We used to have Terps that would listen into what Haji was saying on the other side.
这边也是，所有的频道1个小时一换。
We change channels every hour.
你就是如果你要
If
是
you
没有
forget
记住的
to
情况
change
下，
your
我
channels,
操，
fuck,
那完犊子了，你
you're
跟上
finished
级
because you have lost contact with
失
the
去联
command.
系了。
So if you don't change your channel to the channel they're telling you to change it to, you're fucked. Because radios have different frequencies you put them on and different channels. And if you're on the wrong one, you ain't going to catch them. Like with us, we had frequency hopping. And if you're even off by us, you have to get it on time. It's I don't know how it works. It's magic. But just know that if you're even off, you're by a second, you're not going to get the fucking the message.
还有一种情况就是老毛
Another
子死了，
situation is when Russian teammates
对讲
die.
机不
I
是
can't
不会
communicate
用，
to
但是
the.
这个语言沟通问题，
I know how to use a
我没办法，
walkie-talkie.
都
You
是
have no way to
手机
communicate.
都
All
是
cell
全
phone
信号
signals
屏
are
蔽。
blocked.
还有就是说
After
你
you
攻下
occupy
这
the
个房
building,
子
the
以
first
后，
priority is defense.
第一时间就是防守。你不防守，对方的迫击炮都已经把这个坐标给
If
标
you
好
don't, the
了。
opponent's mortars
只
already
要
have
这
been
个地
marked.
方一失手，对
You
方的无
stack
人机就
off,
开始
their
过来，
drones come
然后迫
down.
击炮弹他
Followed
妈
by
榴弹
mortars
炮
and
来
rifle
空空
grenades.
怼你。然后就是说是你在手
When
机
you
点
try
的
to
时
hold the
候需
place
要支援的时候，
and are in need of
对
support,
方打了什么
the
子母
opponent
弹，
will drop a cluster of munitions
在
on
他妈
you.
空中爆
You
炸，
explode in the
嘣
air
冒一股青烟，
with a waft of
2
smoke.
秒钟，
In 2
然后噼
seconds,
里
they
啪
explode
噼里啪，
everywhere
我
in
跟
the
你说
area.
是方
We have artillery rounds that do that too. The dual purpose improvised conventional munition, DPICM. What it does, we have an artillery round that you shoot it, right? And then what it does, it pops in the air and it drops all these little bomblets. That's pretty badass.
员他妈的那一大片，我跟你说，全部都是子母弹。这个我跟你说，对装甲目标杀伤非常小，
They are not federal
但
armor,
是
but
对
are
人员
deadly
杀
to
伤是非
humans.
常大的。
You know what, y'all? I'm gonna give it about one more
你要不
minute.
别想着什么防步兵
At
之
that
类，
moment,
根本
nobody
就不用
cares
想
about
那
the
些事。
mines.
你挨上就挨上了，
If you
踩上
step
就
on
踩上
one,
了。
so be
因
it,
为对
because
面
your
的敌人
enemies
让你
don't
他妈
give you
根本就
time
没
to
时间
think.
思考这个问题，
Fuck.
你知道吧？那路上那躺
There are
尸
many
多得很，
corpses on the road.
盖白布了，
Some are
有的
covered with
是
white
盖那种
cloth,
衣
while
服
some are
的，
covered with
那
clothing.
都是我们自己人。
They are our
还
soldiers.
有大家在讨论一个
People
问
ask
题，
why we all
说我
wear
们那
a
个
white armband.
那个缠那个白色胶带啊，那是因为
Because
俄
the
罗斯
Russian
的国
national
旗
flag
是
has
白、
white,
蓝、
blue, and
红，
red.
我们是缠白颜
So
色
we
的
wear
胶带。
white armbands.
再说
The
起有点
color
丧气
isn't
话，跟
an
国内说白了
auspicious
就是那
one
种办白事
and
的
is like
那
attending
种。
funerals in China.
他妈，我当时我
I
有
was a
点
bit
反感。
repulsed.
我问为什么不缠红
I
色？
asked why we didn't wear red.
他说其他部队有
The
缠
answer
红
was
色的，
that some
可
of
是
the
我
other
们
troops
就
wore
这
red.
次，
And
就
we wear
缠那个
white
白色，
per the
因
order
为
of our
上级下了
superior.
命令。
Got to take orders.
下了什么命令啊？
What was the
杀
order?
光一切
Kill
没有
everyone
白
who's
胶
not
带的
wearing a
人，
white
就你视
armband
线范围之内，
within
只要
our
是没有
eyes
白胶带的，
reach.
全部
God
杀光，
damn.
就是这么狠。
That's how ruthless it is.
老毛子
The Russian
宣传
propaganda
是
is
宣
one
传，
thing, but they
但
are
是啊，
brutal in
做事他
action.
妈的是真硬。兄弟们，
Bro, I've been in combat for 4 days and nights.
打了4天4夜了，这项
Street
目不好
combat is
玩，
no
真
fun.
不好玩，
No fun at all.
太他妈费人了。
It costs too many lives.
刚开始
We
出发的
started, we
是
had 12 men.
12个人，受伤几个，
A
剩
few
下
got
全部
injured
都
and the
牺
rest
牲。
died.
后来又过来几个老
A
毛，
few Russians joined us later.
也干没了。
They died too because of their lack of experience.
小黑是我
Little Black follows me everywhere. Hey, Little Black, you little garbage ass scary motherfucker. That's the look of a scared ass man right there. has no reason being in a war. Hopefully, shout out Little Black. I hope you make it back home. I hope you made it back home. It's tough, man.
你好，打招呼。
哦，
You know, the communication barrier.
兄弟们，兄弟们，
Hello, everyone. Jumbo! Jumbo! The Ugandans say.
No good.
No good. You know, it goes to show you, though, even though in the middle of a combat zone, you still have time to fucking smile. You got to take every day as a fucking gift, yo. Because you never know. Like you said, you might step on a landmine and just be a memory.
Yes or no?
Oh,
又
incoming.
拍了几个，
Oh,
拍了几个俄罗斯人，全部。
including the map. I guess they sent more Russians in. The guy from Nepal is dead. Little Black is terribly scared. We have one Russian left.
干嘛了？
What are we doing here?
随时
Waiting to be sent.
还要走。
Are stubborn and want us to continue fighting. The Russians are stubborn and want us to continue fighting. Damn. Well, he definitely got his fucking money's worth in war if he wanted it. Shout out, homie. Soldier to soldier, I gotta respect him. Over a dozen died over the past few days. Bro, this war is unwinnable. It's too tough to win. The human cost is too high. Damn. That's all. I'm smoking. Hey, smoke it up, baby. I'm confident I'll send upon my return. All right, cool. I hope you made it back, dog. I really do. My appearance is sad. I look like a barbarian. Ain't nothing wrong with that, big dog. You a fucking warrior. All right, and that was it, man. I hope you guys were able to hang here with me. I don't know how I did. This is my first time doing an interpreted type of reaction. I hope you guys can dig it. But it was definitely crazy to hear this dude's account of being out there. And apparently there's also another video that's circulating that has two other fellas that are out there as mercenaries. But I didn't do that one because I don't know why. I just thought this one would be cool. Anyway, check out my shirt, man. My old lady bought it for me. That's the Hob, the Mayan Hob. But yeah, indigenous shit. It's my people's. Salvadoran, baby. Central American. Cool. Anyways, with that being said, I appreciate y'all being here with me. Thank you for making it this far. If you did make it this far and you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit that like button, hit that bell button to get the all notifications, and thumbs up or thumbs down. But I'll catch you around. I don't know what the hell I'm doing over here. Anyways, y'all be easy, man, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Gun line out, y'all. Deuces.